Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purdue.
Money Buns is a interesting Kickstarter project that kind of got my hands on. It is a card management game where you're putting down these cards, C-A-R-P-S, in order to score the most points. And the interesting thing is kind of like Bonanza, where you have the cards in your hand and you can't mess up the order that they're in. And you will be able to play these cards down on the table, and you can trade them, auction them off, keep them for yourselves, but then you have to immediately put them into your bakery and consume them. Now, the more that you have to get some set collection in it, which my wife adores and loves, that you'll be able to keep those in your little bakery, if you will, and you'll be able to score points based on how many of those that you can accomplish. Now, the game has a lot of interaction. You're going to be playing off the other people, be making trades with them, giving them things, and stealing things from them in the effect that, I'm going to keep this for me, and you ain't going to get it. So some of that's going to be in this game. Now, I really enjoyed this game and really had a lot of fun with it, and I love the hand management part of the game. I like that I can't move my cards around. I can only move the cards around in my hand by interacting with you. And by trading with you, I'll be able to take cards out of my cycle, if you will, give them to you to either play or put at the end of your cycle. And that gives you the ability there to be able to score the most amount of points. Or if somebody wants to trade with you, they could really stick it to you by not doing the trade, but they'd also be hurting themselves. And then if there's a third or fourth player, then that third or fourth player would be benefiting. So it's beneficial to two players to kind of get a deal done, if you will, and make that happen. I really, really, really had a good time with this game. It's a light game. It's one that you can play with nearly anybody. Take it to Thanksgiving and play with Grandma. I think she'll be fine with that. There's not a whole lot going on, and I think the theme of it with the desserts are really going to be appealing to certain people. I think it's just a friendly thing. No battle orcs here. You're going to be playing with these danishes, donuts, and desserts and goodies, and it'll really make you hungry by the end of it. I tell you that. So this is what I'm going to put on the recommend list. This is a game that my family had a really good time with. I played with some friends as a filler. They had a really good time. And one that I'm going to recommend to you, which would be Money Buns. So you're going to get a box of cards inside. Like I said, once again, this is probably a prototype. I wouldn't expect this to be the finalized one. I did take some cards out. You're going to take a set out depending on if you're playing how many players. So in this case, I've taken the Ginger Snaps out. You're going to shuffle this big deck of cards together, and then you're ready to go. So setup takes about as long as it takes you to shuffle a deck of cards. Very easy to do. Here's Money Buns. It's going to be a little card game that comes in a little small box like this. Now, this could be still prototype that you're seeing. A little small rule book. And the rules are very crystal clear here to be able to play. I like these rules quite a bit. I think they're very clear. You're going to have the objective, how to play with a little bit of rules. Phase 2 into that, and then how you sell your cards and the game ends. So very easy to understand. You could probably read this in less than 5 minutes and be up and playing. Setup is fairly easy. You're going to shuffle this deck of cards and you'll be ready to go. Then you're going to deal all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to each of your players. Now each of the cards are going to have a type of card on it, a type of carb with a B, and a number at the bottom that tells you, so in this case, if you get 3 of them together, you're going to be worth 1, 5 is 2, 7 is 3, and 9 is 4. And each of these are going to have different combination. Here's 4 is 1, 7 is 2, 9 is 3, and 11 is 4. So they have different combinations. Now, when you draw your cards, you're never going to move them out of order. So think of Bonanza in this case. They're always going to stay in the order they're drawn to you. And that's going to be very important for this game. So let's say this is our hand, and these are just the cards laid out, but this is my hand of cards. I would have donut, loaf, macaroon, and donut at the end, and I can't change this up whatsoever. I got to be able to play the game in order to change this up. So as you're playing the game, I'll kind of leave these up here. You're going to have 3 ovens. They're just 3 spots on the board that you'll be able to make rows on. And what you're going to do is you can take the first card, the one on the rightmost, and you're going to put it into one of your 3 ovens. You're going to have to play this card. In this case, I'm going to play the donut down. Now, if I want to, I can optionally play the next card and put it into an oven if I want. Because I don't have any of them matches with loaf, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep this one donut here in one of my 3 ovens. Then what will happen is I will draw 2 cards face up for everybody to see. In this case, they just happen to both be a muffin. Now, I could keep these for myself, and if I do, I have to immediately put these in the oven. Or I can trade this with somebody else, maybe to get that donut that I had that was face up, to get more donuts. Or I can donate it to somebody and just give it to them if they're willing to accept it. So let's say this is the hand of somebody else, and they want one or both of these muffins. They might take this donut from the back of their row and give it to me in exchange, let's say, for both of these muffins. They would then take these muffins and put it in their oven, and I would take my donut that I just received and put it in the oven with my other donut, and now I have a set of 2. Remember, I need at least 3 in order to score a point. Then everybody draws one additional card and puts it at the end of their row. So if my row was macaroon, croissant, I would draw a new card, in this case a loaf, and put it at the back end of my hand. These are not face on the table, these are actually in my hand as I play. At any point in the game, I can sell my carbs off. Now in this case, with the donuts, if I have 3 of them, which I happen to have here, I can sell them off and get 1 point. What I would do is I would take the money buns, I would take one of these, flip them over, and I would be scored now, and the other 2 I would take off into my discard pile. Now, if I would have only had 1 of these, it wouldn't have scored for me, because I need at least 3 to score. If I had 5, I would have taken 2 of those and scored. But you can also get rid of something if you want to. With 1, you just won't get anything in return. Now, if I would have had 5 of these donuts here, like I said, 5 gives me 2. I would take 2 of these. These would become my victory point pile. I would score those, and then these 3 remaining would go into the discard pile to later be shuffled right back in. You would go through this deck 3 times. When you're done with the 3rd time, what you'll do is you'll finish any in-game processing, and then when you draw the final card in phase 4, count up your victory point, and whoever has the most wins. Remember, your victory points are these money that you're earning for the set collection that you're doing during the game. Then the baker with the most money wins. Who should buy this game? This game is probably going to be in the filler category. So if you're looking for a light filler, you're looking for something that the family could play, or maybe somebody you want to get an uncle and aunt or a cousin, grandma, mom, dad, who don't normally play games, that they might like the dessert theme, but they're not necessarily going to play something like BattleWorks or this big complicated game like Stronghold or something. But you want something that you can play with them, interact with the board game world, and have a good time. This would be a really good set piece to play with, like Sushi Go Party, where you play in that a little bit, and then you maybe play this one before or after. Kind of has that similar food theme, but it's very easy for people to understand what's going on. This one's probably a little bit easier to me because you don't have to memorize so many cards because everything's printed on the cards that you need. But this is one that I feel like that a lot of families could have a good time. I could totally see this one on the shelves at Target. I could see this at a big box store. Somebody off the street could definitely play this game and enjoy it. The only thing that's going to be a little different for people is that you have a hand of cards and you can't mix up the order of them. Once they're dealt in that order, they got to stay there. That's going to be new for some gamers. And you're probably looking at me like I have 3 heads. Like, that's not very complicated. It's not. It's just new for a lot of people. This one I'm going to recommend to you. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Money Buns is a winner. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.